Students, in the first video we had seen about the birth of Buddha and how Siddhartha was known to be Buddha after attaining sadhana or enlightenment. Now in this topic we will be studying about the preachings of Buddha, that is what all he taught the people in those days, which are still being followed all over the world. After attaining enlightenment, that is after attaining knowledge or wisdom, or becoming wise, he went to Sarnath, and there he met the previous friends of his. Who were his friends? The 5 Brahmins. The old friends of his were the 5 Brahmins with whom he had started doing penance or meditation, but he had left them in between. So he met those 5 Brahmins again, and he preached to them for the first time. To these 5 Brahmins, he preached his version, whatever he had attained of truth. And his first preachings are recorded and they are called as the Dharma Chakra Pravartan. I have broken this word into 2 for you to understand. Dharma Chakra Pravartan means how the religion teaches us to do good deeds or good work. Actions should be pure. And he gave very simple sermons. Sermons means preachings. Whatever he taught was very simple. He told to get rid of the miseries of the world or the troubles of the world. That was the most simplest thing he taught. So he gave the 4 truths which are known as 4 Arya truths. Which are these 4 Arya truths? We will study. The first truth which he gave to the world is that the world is full of miseries. Now, as you know, students, miseries means we already saw troubles, sorrows. It's a natural thing. The world is full of troubles. Second, the cause of these miseries or the cause of suffering is greed or strong desire. So Buddha says that if we don't have much desires, much wants or greed, then suffering will be less. So the main cause of this misery or suffering is desire or greed. Third truth is destruction of suffering is renunciation of desire. All these points are interrelated, students. That is destruction of suffering. To eliminate this, to stop this misery, you should have renunciation of desire. That is stopping, avoiding desire. Don't desire for too many things. Renunciation means leaving. Fourth truth is adoption of octagonal path. Here, octagonal path means 8-fold path, or in Hindi or Sanskrit we call it as Ashtang Marg. Asht means 8. Ashtang Marg means 8-fold path. The path that is 8-fold path we don't have in our syllabus, we only have to study this name. The 8-fold path given by Buddha is very famous all over the world. So adopting the octagonal path means the 8-fold path of Buddha, you will be able to eliminate these desires or unwanted desires. So these 4 Arya truths are also known as Buddhist principles, and Buddhist principles are also known as Samyak Darshan. It is also known as Samyak Darshan. So the 4 truths known as the Arya truths are mainly based on desires. Due to desire, you have misery in this world. So get rid of the desire. Renounce the desire and adopt the octagonal path. And the Buddhist principles of Samyak Darshan we will be studying. So students, let's see what is this word Samyak. Samyak here is a Sanskrit word. It means properly, doing everything in a proper manner, the right manner. So according to Buddha, you should have Samyak sight. That is, you should see properly, see the right things in the right manner. Then Samyak resolve. Whatever you resolve in your life should be firm, should be proper. It should be for the good of others. Samyak speech, right speech, speaking in the right manner, not hurting others. Samyak deeds. Here students, the word deeds means actions. Whatever things you do in your life should be proper. Samyak earning. This point is important for the students as well as for the grown-ups of nowadays. Why? Don't earn bad name for yourselves and don't earn money in the wrong manner. So both the things are applicable in this Samyak earning. Earning means earning money when you grow up in the right manner and earning respect for yourself in the society in the right manner. Samyak exercise. Exercise everything in the right manner. This stands for both the exercise. Exercising your feelings in society in the right manner and physical exercise should also be done in the right manner. Samyak memory. Remember only the good things, not the bad things of others. And Samyak samadhi. Meditate in the proper manner. That is, have meditation in your life in the proper manner. So students, here the word Samyak carries all these things to be done in your life. For every human being, all these things should be Samyak, should be proper. That is sight, what you see, what you resolve, what you speak, what you do, how you earn, what you exercise and how you exercise, what you remember, your memory and your meditation should be Samyak. Now let's see how Buddha was a great reformer in the society. He was a reformer for both social reasons as well as for religious reasons, students. That is, lifelong, till his death, he worked to eliminate the pollutants. Students, here the word eliminate means throwing off, leaving aside. The pollutants. Pollutant means things which pollute the minds of people in the form of religious and societal norms. So whatever was wrong in the society and in religion, he eliminated. And the people of different areas, different states and different kings were much encouraged by the teachings of Buddha. So let's see some of the reforms which Buddha did. The first reform was denial of God and soul. What do you mean by denial? Denial means not accepting, saying no. Here, Buddha gave much importance to karmaism. Students, here the word karmaism means doing karma, actions, deeds, doing the right karma. He said that if God was there in this world, there would be no sorrows. So he did not believe in that. He said, if God was present in the universe, then sorrows would not be there. So he told the people, indulge in virtuous life in the present. Live in the present. Indulge. Be busy in leaving aside all dirt of your heart and live a virtuous life. Virtuous means life full of good values. Instead of welfare of the soul. Don't work for your soul, Atma. No. Work for the present time to live a right life. That is a virtuous life. The next point is opposition to rituals. Buddha was a strong opposer of any rituals. In Hinduism, you have the rituals of offering sacrifice of animals in yagnas. That is yagya in Hindi called as yagya. Offering of yagnas, you have to sacrifice animals. Buddha was against this policy. He opposed all these rituals and sacrifice of animals. He had the policy of non-violence. He had that as the highest value of his life. That is, non-violence is the greatest duty of every human being. To treat animals non-violently. The third point is opposition of discrimination of high and low. As you already know, in the first semester we have studied, India had 4 varnas or 4 classes in the society. Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras. But Buddha opposed all these varnas. He said that no one becomes great by being born in a high family. All are equal in the society. Whether you belong to a Brahmin family or Kshatriya family or Vaishya or Shudra family, all are equal. He did not believe in the caste system. He opposed it totally. He said that deeds, actions of a man, conscience, truth and non-violence are the main things which make a person great, not the caste system. So he opposed the discrimination or the difference of the high and low in the society. The next topic is the importance of women. Buddha gave much importance to women in society. He said that there should be no discrimination for women. Both men as well as women are equal in the society. He said that to attain the path of Nirvana. Here students, you already know A in the end means Nirvana only. In English we write it commonly as A. Nirvana means attainment of enlightenment or wisdom. To attain the path of Nirvana, men as well as women can try. Women can also attain Nirvana through sadhana and duty towards the society. So, through all these teachings, we can clearly understand that he was a great social as well as a religious reformer. Now, how he attained nirvana, we already know that. He attained enlightenment in the shade of the Bodhi tree, that is the people tree, on the day of Vaishak Purnima. And his reforms lead human beings towards a righteous path, towards the right path. And he opposed non-vegetarian food. He was strictly against non-vegetarian food because he believed in non-violence. Killing of animals is strictly opposed. And at the age of 80 years, he died in Kushinara and attained nirvana. But till he died, he always fought for all these values which he studied, and he worked as a great reformer. Still now, even till date, his ideas and religions are alive in the world. Buddhism is still alive in this world as a very great religion. So students, in the next video we will be studying about Mahavir. Thank you.